This channel features longer classes and challenging poses, and today's class is a 1-hour total body morning yoga workout. This Vinyasa flow class warms up your body slowly and safely and uses a mixture of strengthening and stretching postures to help you start your day off feeling strong and flexible. Hi there, welcome to Yoga Dose. My name's Cece. Today we're going to begin seated in Sukhasana, or easy seated pose. Just begin connecting to your Ujjayi pranayama. Deep inhales through the nose and exhales through the nose. Inhale and lift your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, drop the left hand to the side of the mat and take a side stretch, bringing your right arm up and overhead. Stretching through the right side body. Bring your hands back to center. And then drop the right hand and take the left hand up and overhead, stretching out through the left side body now. Bring your hands back to center and then release them down by your sides. This time twisting open to the left, taking your right hand on top of your left knee and your left hand behind you, belly drawing in and just gently twisting through the upper spine. Come back to center and twist to the other side, taking the left hand on top of the right knee and the right hand behind you, maybe taking your gaze over your right shoulder. Release, come back to center, and then gently fold forward as much as you can over your legs, belly drawing in, being gentle with your spine, and gently stretching your hips. Couple more breaths here. And then inhale, gently walk your hands back up, switch the cross of your legs, and then inhale your hands up and overhead, and exhale, drop the left hand and lift the right hand up and overhead, taking that side stretch again. Inhale, bring your hands back up and then switch to the other side, lowering the right hand, left hand up and overhead. Taking the time to really warm up your body. Inhale your hands back to center. Now twisting over to the left with your hands overhead, only using your internal muscles to twist here. Exhale, come back to center, and inhale, twist over to the right, only using the muscles of your abdomen. Inhale back to center, and exhale, fold over your legs gently. Only moving as deep as what feels good at the beginning of your practice, taking care of your body. Inhale and walk your hands back up, and maybe take a couple shoulder rolls, lifting your shoulders up towards your ear and rolling them back. Maybe switch directions, this time rolling the shoulders forward, moving any way that feels good. Now take your head and drop it towards your right shoulder, taking the left hand, gently resting it on top of the head, and maybe lift the left arm up any amount, getting a gentle stretch in your neck. When you're ready, release and take it to the other side, gently resting your left hand on the top of the head. Release that stretch and just begin to make some gentle circles with your head. Dropping it forward, chin towards the chest, turning to one side, and then slowly making your way to the other side. Release that and come onto your hands and knees in a tabletop position, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then begin to take cat-cow movements, matching your breathing with your movements. So inhaling, lifting the chin, arching the back, and exhaling, rounding the spine, drawing the navel in, dropping the chin towards the chest. Move here at your own pace, just like this, a few more times. And then walk your hands about a handprint forward and gently lift yourself into your first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can pedal your heels here, bending one knee and then the other, warming up the backs of the legs. Your navel is drawing in strongly, fingers spread wide. Rotating your triceps back and your biceps forward, releasing any tension in the neck. From here, maybe bend the knees, turn your gaze forward, and then walk the feet gently towards the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine, draw the navel up, and then exhale and take a gentle forward fold, maybe keeping a bend in the knees here. You can grasp opposite elbows and maybe sway side to side. And then lower your hands to the ground and maybe bend one knee and the other, just like we did in downward facing dog. Still warming up the backs of the legs. This is one of my favorite stretches to do. Take this a couple more times and then plant the right hand, keeping the left leg straight, bend the right knee, and twist open to the left side. Feeling that deep stretch in the left leg. Maybe take your left arm behind your back, reaching into your front right pocket if you want to take a deeper shoulder stretch. If your neck feels okay, turn your gaze towards the ceiling. Exhale, release and switch sides. This time the left knee is bent, the right leg is straight, and your right arm is reaching up overhead, or it's behind your back, reaching towards your left front pocket. Again, if your neck feels okay, maybe take your gaze upward. Exhale, release this posture and fold back forward, maybe taking a few more pedaling of the legs, bending one knee and then the other. And then on your next inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and then exhale, lower the hands, Samastitihi, coming into mountain pose, Tadasana. Root down through all four edges of the feet. Lift the kneecaps gently, engaging the quads, and then inhale your arms up and overhead. And then grab your right wrist with your left hand and hinge over to the left, stretching that side body again. Inhale back to center, take it on the other side. Right hand holding the left wrist, stretching the left side body. Inhale back to center and exhale, release the hands by the sides. Inhale, arms overhead again, this time dropping the left arm down the leg, right arm up and overhead. Inhale, hands back to center. Lower right hand down the leg, left arm up and overhead. Release, come back to center and interlace your fingers behind your back, maybe just hooking your thumbs. And then take a gentle forward fold, maybe keeping a bend in the knees again. My hamstrings are always really tight in the morning, so keeping a bend in the knees can feel really good. Now inhale and create length in the spine. And then exhale, step back into a plank position. Holding here in plank, shift forward about an inch, and then lower, bend the elbows into chaturanga, and lower all the way down to your stomach. From here, keeping the tops of the hands down, lift up into a gentle shalabhasana or locust pose, spiraling the inner thighs towards each other and focusing on creating length rather than lifting up high. Gently release that locust pose, resting. This time, lift back up into Shalabhasana, but take Chaturanga arms with your wrists underneath your elbows, arms at 90-degree angles. Again, focusing on creating a long line, reaching through the crown of your head and out through your toes. Now lower down your feet and gently lift yourself into an upward facing dog. And then exhale your hips up and back, moving into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. You can move any way you like here, maybe pedaling the heels some more. And then bend your knees, take your gaze forward, step up to your hands, inhale and create length through the spine, and exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, root through the feet and rise all the way up, arms overhead, and then exhale, Samastitihi, arms by the sides. Inhale, arms overhead, exhale, folding forward, belly drawing in, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step the feet back into a plank position. Shift forward about an inch and lower all the way down to your stomach, slow as you can. Bring your wrists underneath your elbows, taking Chaturanga arms, lifting into a low cobra position. And then gently tuck the toes, lift your hips, and push back into downward facing dog. Spreading the fingers wide, putting more weight in the fingertips to take pressure off your wrists. Backs of the legs reaching towards the wall behind you. Now bend the knees, gaze forward, and walk up to your hands. Inhale and create length. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead, and exhale, Samastitihi. Warming up with some sun salutations. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, and maybe hop back this time into Chaturanga. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feel your body begin to warm up. Now inhale, lift the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Maybe bend the knee, open up the hip, and you can even take some hip circles here. Stretching out through the hips. And then bring your knee forward in between your hands and lower down onto your back left knee, coming into a low lunge position, maybe taking your hands on top of your right knee. Engage your left glute muscle, sitting up nice and tall. Uddiyana Bandha engaged to protect the lower spine. And top of the left foot pressing into the mat. Always make sure that your knee is right over your ankle on the right foot to protect your knee. Taking a few more deep inhales and exhales in this posture. Opening up our hip flexors. Lower your hands to the mat, straighten the front leg, moving into Ardha Hanumanasana, or half splits. Flexing the right foot, engaging the quadricep muscle, and gently folding over the leg. From here, rebend the knee, coming back into that low lunge position. Inhale the arms overhead, and then bending your elbows cactusing out your arms, lower them down, and then inhale them back overhead, doing this a few more times, squeezing the shoulder blades together as you lower the elbows, moving slowly as though you're moving through water, moving at your own pace, opening up the shoulders here, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lowering the elbows and lifting up through the sternum. Again, maybe taking your gaze up as you lift. Now lower your hands to the mat and move through Chaturanga. Inhale into Urdhva Mukha and exhale back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe gently nod your head yes or shake your head no. Notice how your neck is feeling. And then inhale your left leg up, maybe bending the knee. You can take some hip circles here, really warming up that left hip, preparing to stretch it out. And then gently step it forward in between your hands, lowering onto the back right knee. Check to make sure your left knee is over the left ankle. The top of your right foot is pressing into the mat, and your hands can be gently resting on top of that left knee, engaging your right glute. Breathing into that right hip flexor, releasing any tension there. Notice if maybe one side is tighter than the other. Usually my right hip flexor is a lot tighter than the left, and you might notice some differences in your body as well. Release your hands down to the mat, straighten the left leg, folding forward into Ardha Hanumanasana, or half splits. Navel drawing in strongly in all your forward folds. Keeping the left foot flexed, quad engaged. Couple more breaths here, folding over the left leg. Release this stretch, and now coming back into that low lunge position, left knee bent. Inhale your arms overhead, and then exhale, bend the elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lower the arms down, and then lift the arms back up, moving fluidly here. Moving with your breath, inhaling the arms up, and exhaling, bending the elbows out, lifting the chin, lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and lower down. Taking a few more, moving at your own pace, and trying to move as slowly as you can. Listening to what your body needs. Now, release your hands down to the mat. Step back into a plank position, lower down into Chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog, and exhale back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Regain your steady breathing. Maybe taking your gaze in between your knees or your upper thighs. And then shift forward into a plank position, belly drawing in, quad engaged, glutes engaged, a strong plank position. And then lift your right leg up a couple inches. And then bring it forward, knee towards your nose, belly drawing in, extend it back out. Bring it back in towards your chest. Extend out. Inhale back towards your chest, belly drawing in. Exhale, extend it back out. Again, inhale, nose to knee. Exhale, extend that right leg out. Inhale, try to get your nose to your knee one more time, and then plant the right foot down, lower the left foot down, and then lift up into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana A. Deep bend in the front knee, knee right over the ankle, and hips squaring off towards the front of the mat, arms overhead, and maybe taking your gaze towards your thumbs. Press through the outer edge of your back left foot to engage that left leg. Now release your hands down to the mat. Step back into a plank position. And this time lift the left leg up a few inches off the ground, engaging that leg, trying to keep your hips level. Inhale it in towards your nose. Exhale, straighten that leg back out. Inhale, round the spine, bring it in towards your chest. Exhale, extend back out. Inhale, bring it in towards your chest, belly drawing in. Exhale, extend the left leg back out. Again, inhale towards your chest. Exhale, leg back out. Inhale, bring it in, nose to knee, and then gently step the left foot down. Turn the right foot flat at a 45-degree angle, and then lift yourself into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana A. Weight in the front left heel and weight in the outer edge of the back right foot, making sure that the arch of your foot on the right side is not collapsing. Keeping your legs active. Maybe sink down so that your left thigh is parallel to the ground. Right hip drawing forward, left hip drawing back. Navel drawing in. Maybe taking your gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale, lower your hands down to the mat, shift forward about an inch into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Regain your steady breathing in this downward facing dog. And then inhale your left leg in between your hands and lift yourself up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana B. Again, a deep bend in that front right leg, knee right over the ankle. And then hinge forward, taking side angle pose or Utthita Parsvakonasana, maybe modifying by taking the right arm onto the right thigh and the left arm overhead. Pinky facing down so that your shoulders externally rotated. Trying to open the chest up towards the ceiling. Inhale to a T position and then switch sides, taking Warrior Two with the left leg forward, now facing the back of your mat. Belly drawing in here, engage your triceps, active arms, and maybe take your gaze over your front middle finger. Try to get your thigh parallel to the mat, knee pointing directly over the second toe. Then hinge forward into Utthita Parsvakonasana, this time taking the left arm on top of the left knee, right arm up and overhead, in line with the ear with the pinky facing down. Feel that side stretch all the way out from the outer edge of the foot, all the way out through the fingers of the extended hand. Inhale up to a T position. Come back to the front of your mat in Samastitihi or Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, raise your arms up and overhead, and exhale, fold forward over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, plant the hands, jump or step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha, and exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lift the right leg up, three-legged dog. Gently step it in between the hands, lifting up into warrior one. Hips facing the front of the mat, left foot at a 90-degree, a 45-degree angle, toes pointing to the front left corner of the mat. Maybe taking your gaze up toward your hands. Moving now into warrior two, adjust your feet so that you're lined up front heel with back arch. Trying to keep that deep bend in the knee. Weight in the heel of the right foot. Now straighten the right leg, maybe shorten your stance, and hinge forward into Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. Maybe taking your right hand to a block, to your shin, or if you're feeling warmed up, take your first two fingers and your thumb around your big toe. Now take your gaze towards the ground, maybe grab a block and shift forward into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Your right hand's about a foot in front of the pinky toe side of the right foot, and your left leg is extended straight out, pressing out through the heel strongly. Left arm up and overhead, and if you're steady, take your gaze up towards your left hand. Slowly and gently lower your left leg down, straighten the front leg, coming back into Trikonasana triangle pose. You want your spine parallel to the mat. Now bend the knee, coming into a low lunge position on the ball of the back left foot with your arms either back alongside your body or up by your ears, belly drawing in over the thigh. A strong lunge position here. Plant the left foot on the left hand on the inside of the right foot, lifting the right hand up. Pressing out through the heel of that left foot. Just taking a nice easy twist here. Release your right hand down to the mat and lower down onto the left knee, moving into lizard. Maybe lowering onto your forearms. Your hands or forearms are on the inside of that right foot. And just stretching a little bit deeper here into the left hip flexor. Your right toes are going in the same direction as your right knee. If you're on your forearms, come back onto the palms of your hands. From here, maybe taking your right thigh onto the right tricep for Ekapada Queen Vinyasa. Maybe transitioning into Chaturanga. Lifting the chin and chest, upward facing dog, and then exhaling back, downward facing dog. Now lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bring it slowly in between your hands. Lifting up, warrior one. You're lined up front heel with back heel here. Right hip drawing forward, left hip drawing back. Try to sink down a little bit deeper into the left leg so your thigh is parallel to the ground. Couple more breaths here in warrior one. Bring your hands to heart, adjust your feet, front heel to back arch, moving into warrior two. Arms open wide, gaze over that front middle finger. Maybe check your back arm, see if it's in line with the front arm. Sometimes one arm will go a little higher than the other. And then begin to straighten your legs, hinge forward into Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. You want it to feel like your back is up against a wall. That's how in line you want your spine to be. Putting weight in the ball of that left foot, quad engaged. From here, maybe grab your block again and shift forward into Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand about a foot ahead of the left foot. Right leg lifted strongly. Trying to keep your leg in line with your spine, stamping out through that right heel so strongly, keeping the entire leg so active. And if you feel steady, take your gaze up towards the extended hand. Slowly and gently lower the right foot down, moving back into Trikonasana triangle pose. Now bending the front knee, coming onto the ball of the back foot, taking a low lunge position, maybe arms back alongside your body, belly drawing up, or take your arms up by your ears, pinkies facing down. Gaze towards your front left foot. Holding this strong lunge position, and then lower your right hand to the inside of the left foot, twisting open to the left. Taking a gentle, easy twist. Turn your gaze back to center. Maybe walk your left foot out a little, coming back into lizard. Hands or elbows on the inside of the left foot. Stretching out the right hip flexor now. Top of the right foot is planted into the mat. If you want to, you can take Ekapada Vinyasa again by bringing the left thigh on top of the left tricep, scissoring out the legs, and then you can transition into a chin stand if you want, and then shoot the legs back into Chaturanga, moving through your Vinyasa and meeting in downward facing dog. Bend your knees and hop your feet to the top of the mat, coming into a low squat Malasana or garland pose. You can take your feet as wide as the mat and maybe turn your toes out at an angle. But if you do so, make sure your knees follow your toes. Trying to keep your spine long. You can always put a block underneath your glutes if you can't quite sit all the way down in this squat. I like to bring my hands to heart center and use my elbows to press my knees apart. Now planting the hands shoulder distance apart, move into Bakasana, taking the knees high up on the triceps. Belly drawing in, and then shoot back into Chaturanga, making your way to downward facing dog. Step the right foot in between the hands now, lifting up into Warrior One. Virabhadrasana A. Lined up front heel with back heel. Now maybe shorten the stance about a foot, straighten both legs. Take your hands behind you and either press your knuckles together or take reverse namaskar and fold forward over your front straight leg into Parsvottanasana or pyramid pose. Belly drawing in strongly, pressing your hands against the upper spine to keep length through the back. Now inhale, create length. And then plant your left hand on the outside of the right foot, twisting open to the right into revolved Trikonasana, triangle pose. Belly drawing in, and your twist should be coming through the upper spine. Now planting the left hand about a foot ahead, lift the back left leg into revolved half moon pose. Trying to keep level hips. Right hand can stay on your hip or extended. And then release, coming into standing Samastitihi. From here, grab your right big toes into Utthita Hasta Padangustasana, right leg extended. You can even just grab your right knee. If you want, grab the outer edge of the right foot with your left hand and twist open to the right, Taking a standing twist here. Release that twist, keeping the right leg lifted, belly drawing in, and then swing the right leg back, coming into warrior three, arms by the ears, keeping your spine in a long line, reaching all the way from the fingertips through the heel of the right foot. And then gently lower that right foot down, lining up front heel to back heel, and you'll end up in warrior one on the left side. Breathing deep here in warrior one. Now maybe straighten both legs, shorten the stance, take your hands behind you, maybe knuckles together or a reverse namaskar, and fold forward, keeping length in the spine over your left leg. Keep your left leg engaged, weight in the ball of the left foot and quad engaged. Now inhale and plant your right hand on the outer edge of the left foot, twisting open to the left for Pavrita Trikonasana. Every inhale, lengthen your spine, and every exhale, twist deeper through the upper spine, maybe taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. Plant the right hand down now, lifting up into revolved half moon pose. Your right leg's lifted, trying to keep level hips. Root down through the left foot, trying to remain steady. And then stand all the way up, mountain pose, Samasthiti. Inhale and lift your left leg up, maybe catch the big toes with the first finger and thumb. Uttita Hasta Padangustasana. Keeping your back straight, make sure you're not leaning back. Grab the outer edge of the left foot with the right hand and twist open to the left. Staying steady on that right leg. Maybe taking your gaze behind you. Come back to center, keeping the left leg lifted. Swing it back behind you, coming into warrior three, arms by the ears, pinky facing down. Stamping through that left heel. And then bring that leg back to center, ending up in Samasthiti. Bend the knees now into Utkatasana chair pose, knees squeezing together, weight in the heels. Navel drawing in, gaze towards the thumbs. Sink down, lower, 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 slowly lowering down into Navasana pose, boat pose. You can keep a bend in the knees, focus on keeping your spine long. Now lower down, Ardha Navasana, or a hollow body hold. Lift back up into boat pose, Navasana. Lifting through the sternum, lifting your heart. Slowly lower, Ardha Navasana. Strongly engaging your abdominals, lift up, boat pose again. Lower back, Ardha Navasana. Now lift back up and planting your hands behind your hips, you're going to lift into a reverse table position, stamping down through your heels, hips lifted, and just let your head drop back. And then you're going to shift back forward into an L-sit, and you're just going to transition here. So lifting back into reverse table, drop the hips back behind your hands, lifting into an L-sit position, lift back up, reverse table, lower hips back behind the arms, try to lift your heels off the ground, release, sitting down. That's a fun transition you can do to build a lot of strength. And then slowly lower down all the way onto your back, lifting the hips into bridge pose. You want your feet hip distance apart, the outer edges of the feet parallel, and try to keep your chin away from your chest here. Lifting the hips up, lifting the chest. Gently lower the hips back down. Maybe let your knees gently knock into each other. Lift up into another bridge pose now. Maybe interlacing your fingers underneath you if you want more of a shoulder stretch. Stamping down through your heels. Maybe lift the hips higher and then lower down. Gently hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little from side to side, massaging your lower back. Maybe make a few circles or move into happy baby, grabbing the outer edges of the feet, bringing the knees towards the armpits. Rocking side to side. Release your left leg and take half happy baby, just pulling the right foot in towards the elbow. Taking a really good hip stretch here. It's like low lunge, but you're on your back. Use your hands to draw that knee closer to the ground. Then come back into full happy baby. This time releasing the right leg and draw, using both hands, draw the left knee down towards the ground, keeping that left foot flexed. You can experiment with rocking side to side, see how it feels. Release that foot and take the left ankle on top of the right knee for a reclined figure 4 stretch. Maybe interlacing your fingers on top of the right shin. Now lower the knees over to the right side of your mat, taking the left arm extended out for a supine twist. If you want to, take your gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe rest your right hand on top of your knees, gently twisting the spine. And then switch sides, taking that supine figure 4 stretch with the right ankle on top of the left knee. Keeping the right foot flexed, protecting the knee joint. And then lower the knees to the left side. Extend your right arm out. And maybe take your gaze over the right shoulder, resting your left hand on top of your left knee. Release that twist. And then lie down on your back, moving into Shavasana. Let go of your Ujjayi breathing and just let your body sink into the mat, gently resting here. Soaking up the benefits of the practice. Begin to bring your breath back to your body. Maybe extend your arms overhead, taking small movements, waking yourself up from Shavasana. You can hug your knees into your chest, rock a little side to side. Just slowly make your way out of Shavasana into a seated position. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring them to your heart. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me this morning. Namaste. Some days we all need a little more motivation, and this video is a powerful inspirational speech on happiness by one of my favorite actors, Matthew McConaughey. If you're feeling lost or down, this is a must-watch for sure.